Hello, I'm Anna from MAGOM HRC, and we are here to present you the new transmitter MAGOM Key MGT1. So first we need to put on the batteries. It has a placement and battery holder for 4 batteries AA. First we need to put on the batteries. Now we close the battery holder, and now we turn on the transmitter, turning the key. We are going to film it from the upside so you can see it better. Before starting with the programming of the station, we are going to do a general description as we do in the instructions. On the left joystick we can move up and down, which will be the thrower, and right to left, which will be the root. On the right joystick, up and down, we have the L, and to the left and to the right, the AL. If we rotate the right joystick, we have the P2, and if we press the button, we have the SWS root. On the left joystick, if we rotate, we have the P1, and if we press the button, the SWA thrower. Then we find the button A, the button B, the button C, and the button D. And in the center we have the potentiometer or wheel. Then we have the switches 1, 2, 3, and 4. Finally the key, which is what turns on the transmitter. At the top, we find the dips to configure the operation and the battery compartment that we have mentioned before. First thing we are going to do is put the name of the model, which is what will appear in the screen. Here we click on Menu, Model Setup, and let's go to General. We can go up or down. And in name, to change each letter, first with menu we select the letter where it looks darker, and up and down it moves. For example, we are going to write camión, which is truck in Spain. We go to the C. To confirm the letter, we press menu again. And now to move to the side, we keep press the side button and press up. Again, we press menu and look for A. We go like this until we get the full name. And the last one we can remove. We get both numbers and lowercase letters and uppercase letters. Once we have changed the name, the rest of the general setting hasn't changed. We don't have to touch anything. We press exit, and now we will proceed to assign the channels in the selection where it says mixer. You will find these channels assigned to the different buttons and joysticks. The movement assigned to channel 1 is the AL. that is on the right joystick, left to right. Channel 2 has the movement assigned L, that is on the right joystick, up and down. Channel 3 is assigned to the throttle movement, that is on the left joystick, up and down. Channel 4 is assigned to the root movement, that is on the left joystick, right to left. Channel 5 is assigned to the P1 operation, that is on the left joystick, turning the 3D joystick. Channel 6 is assigned to the P2 operation, that is on the right joystick, turning the 3D. Channel 7 is assigned to the P3 operation, that can be used either on the potentiometer or on these two buttons. These are the channels that are assigned as the station comes out of the workshop. Then it can be programmed as the user prefers and can be configured up to 16. The limitation of the channels is physically limited depending on the receiver to which it is linked. At the top of the station, we find the black dips. With these dips, we control the operation, what type of button or switch it is associated with. In the two dips, if the button is towards the top side, it is activated. It is where it says on. If it is down like this, it's deactivated. On the left side, the first three switches correspond to the SWA S-roller operation. That can be found if we activate one on button A. Button A corresponds to this button. If we activate 2, it works on the switch 1, which will be this one. If we activate the 3, it is activated on the left joystick button. For the following switches, 4, 5, and 6, the SWDSL function will be activated. If we activate the 4, it will be activated on the wheel. If we activate the number 5, it will be activated in the buttons C and D. If we activate the 6, it will be activated on the switch 3. Now moving to the right side, in the first there is nothing enabled. In the second and the third, the P3 function is enabled. If we activate the 2, the P3 is activated on the wheel. If we activate 3, the P3 function of the two buttons C and D is activated. On the right side, if we activate switches 4, 5, and 6 of the dip, the SWBS root function is activated. In case of 4, it is activated on the button on the right joystick. In case of 5, we activate the function on the switch 4. And finally, switch 6 activates the SWBS root function on the button B. Is the one on the top right. We recommend activating a single button or switch for each channel. To assign a channel to a function, for example, we go to channel 8, which still has nothing. We have to click on menu and it shows us this screen. On this screen, we see different lines. In the source line, we choose the button or switch that we want to assign to the selected channel. We click on the menu, we can navigate and select the corresponding switch. To exit, we press exit. We usually use the channels that were mentioned before, or the functions. That will be root, L, thrower, A, P1, P2, P3, and if we continue upwards, S roller, S root, and SL. In total, we are going to manage 10 channels or 10 functions or 10 buttons. In the next two lines, we can read weight and offset. With these two configurations, what we are going to do is play with the path that the channel has according to the button where we put it. In the case of buttons or switches or joystick that are proportional, there is no need to play with it. In the case of S root or SL or S thrower, it can help us to put a different beginning and end in the path of the operation. We are going to put on the screen a small diagram with the configuration of these channels that I have mentioned, of operations that are not progressive, and to better guide how the configuration of these two lines will be. Generally, the weight will be the beginning and the offset will be the displacement of that beginning. The following lines, the fixed offset we do not touch, the use output we do not touch, the trim we do not touch, curve with its respective 3 bars. In curve, we can program the behavior of the channel according to the movement of the button or the sticks to which we have associated. It can be linear, exponential, as appropriate for the channel. There are predefined curves that can appear here when clicking on the menu, selecting up and down, and there are curves that can be customized that appear below. We can customize them from here or from the special curves menu. Normally, we use this curve for the pumps and to activate the mixtures with the different channels that are linked to the hydraulic movements. The curve that we use in pumps is the absolute value of X. We also use it with some modules, so every movement we do on the channel is an acceleration. The following line, that is switch, we use it to make a condition and just activate this channel when the function selected is activated. Modes, multiples, we don't touch them. The following lines, delay down and delay up, are to make a delay on the movement, and we don't usually use them. The following two are slow down and slow up, are usually used to slow down the movement for the steering servo, for example, of trucks, to achieve greater realism and so that the servo doesn't work as quickly as usually works. We have already seen the entire page of the channel mix, and playing with all this configuration, we configure the functions that are necessary for the correct functioning of the model. Once we have configured all the channels that we want with the movement we need, we click exit. The next screen we're going to access is limits. We go into the limits screen. Here it shows us the channels in the same order that we have configured them in the mixer. We are going to see different columns. In the first column we will find the trim and subtrim. In this case, it is digital since we have removed the physical piece that moved the trim and subtrim. The second and third columns are related to the epoint, which are the roots of the channel. And the fourth is where the channel is inverted or reversed. To move in the different columns, we leave pressed the side button and press up to go to the right. If we want to invert this channel because it goes not in the direction we want, we press menu and it has already been inverted. To leave it like this, we leave the screen and press exit. When we return to enter, we can see that the channel is still inverted. To remove it, the same with the side and the menu, and it is restored again. We leave this screen, and the next screen that we are going to visit is the one that says curves. Here, as I mentioned before, we can program the different personalized curves and save them in the CV1, CV2, and so on up to 16 different curves. To do this, in the first curve, for example, we press menu and move towards the first point. There are 8 curves with the 5 points to move and another 8 curves that are at the end that have 10 points. To move the points, again, menu and up to raise it and down to lower it. Like I mentioned before, from the mixture screen in the mixer, we can enter this curves section and modify it so that it is saved and we can assign it to the channel. We use it, for example, in the case of the pump and the mixtures that the pump makes with hydraulic movements. The next screen that we often visit can be general, where the name is changed. And lastly, the protocol screen. From this screen is where we are going to link the receiver with the transmitter. To do this, we first go down to select the PPM and click on the menu. It will change us to the type of linkage or protocol of our receiver. And finally, to link it, we have to go down to bind. At this point, we will have to have connected the receiver to the model, given it power, and place the loop on the channel that says VCC. Then, when the system has power, we click on bind in the menu bottom and it will link. To know that it is linked, the receiver light must stop flashing. There are times that this is not the case and we have to either remove the loop or remove the battery and reconnect it. If we want to have several models linked to the same station, what we do is carry out the process of linking each model to the corresponding model. For example, we have the L574 that is already linked to this station. We click on Model Select. We go down and search for the model, menu, and select. And it is now linked. We can now play with the model. Now we want to link this track too. First, we connect the track's battery. Okay, we go to Model Select. It is the Scania 84. Select. And that's it. the case that we have already linked each receiver with its model name, in this case it will be the Scania, and on the right we have the L574. To change between one and the other, we only have to change the model selection. They both has power, as we can see here. Right now we are in Scania, and we can play with the track and all its functions. And if we click on menu, model select, we go to lever 574, menu, select, and the lever has already linked. When we want to have several models and we are changing between one and the other, we have to be careful. For example, if there is a function assigned to a button that must be changed in the div, or for example this L574 that has the pump set here in this switch. When it comes to link it in, I have to remember that this button has to be this way. If the switch were in the opposite way, the ESC will not be programmed correctly, and it will start beeping with an error that it does not recognize the channel limits. We can change back to the track, model select, Scania select, and we already have linked. We can have two models with batteries connected, for example, charging the track and then taking the track to unload without having to get up to link or change the battery. So that was the video for today. We hope everything was clear. If you have any doubts about the transmitter or its setup, please let us know. You can contact us. You have all our contact info in the description. If you have any recommendation for tutorials, you can leave it in the comments, and we hope you enjoy it. Bye bye.